Hello guys, it's a new day and it's a new interview and we're going to have a double interview. I'm not sure who is going to be first, but right now I'm interviewing Tomas, who is just on the roll after winning the seasonal. He's won fight night against one of his friends, against BaJAtak. How are you doing, Tomas?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Winning in 2 times feels amazing.
Is there the feeling of a third one incoming in the next week, maybe in the next fight night?
Maybe, I don't know. Quite unlikely, but I will try. I will try.
Alright, let me ask you something else. Would you like a rematch of the final of this week against BaJAtak?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's always nice when you have a Czech player in the finals. For me, so yeah, I'm happy it was Baja in the finals.
I mean, you guys don't even need to scream, you just find each other in fight night or you find yourselves in the final. But your run was special. I think we can call it the Squibby run because I think you are the second player that lost in the first round and made his way all through the lower bracket and then won it all.
Yeah, it was pretty a long run. Also in the finals, like it was super bad matchup for me, and winning it 2 times. Yeah, it was amazing.
Did you expect you are going to reach the final or win the first match in the final or even reach the final after you lost in the first round?
I mean, I was hoping at least for fourth place, but yeah, I didn't expect to win it all, especially when I knew Baja's lineup.
Definitely. Speaking about lineups, your lineup is half something that we have seen before and half something that has never been seen before, or at least not on EU. And the first deck, we have seen it for quite a lot of time now, is Pirates. What's the reason for bringing Pirates?
So I basically just wanted to play 2 Aggros, and I played Pirates to get to the Masters. So yeah, I just brought Pirates.
Uh, the list is pretty much figured out. There's not much innovation that you can do, but still one copy of line and map. Why do we see line and map here?
So the one off lineup up is there as last card basically. I was choosing from second Jack, a third crack shot, or the 2/2 that does the crack. But I think burst keg and extra burst is something that the deck likes. So yeah, that's why I decided with line them up.
And which were the pros for the other cards that you mentioned, so you would include them instead of line them up?
So basically, having third one drop is just more aggressive approach. Having second jack is good in like slower matchups that gives you a consistent burn. But I think like line them up is a new card and it's extra burst and extra keg is really good when you have a MF or leveled up GP and you can surprise your opponent.
And did it actually find its use? Did you manage to draw it, or it was just there for the show off?
I think I can recall at least one situation when I did lethal 1 damage that I needed with it.
Alright. I mentioned before, this deck is already figured out because I'm in a hurry to go to the next deck, the interesting one. Because the interesting one is Lulu Jinx. The same question, but rephrased a bit. Why the hell this deck?
So basically, I wanted to play Draven Jinx as the second deck, but because of the rules in Fight Night, I could not. So I needed to replay with something else, and I saw Sugar Pass playing Lulu Jinx. So yeah, I just tried it on ladder, and it felt really good. So yeah, I played it in the tournament as well.
Do you think it's lacking a bit in any area in comparison to discard aggro, or do you think it has some stronger points?
So it's more combo-ish, and it gets more punished when the core pieces of the combos are removed. So I think it's a little bit worse than Draven Jinx because Draven Jinx can just win on its own and has a lot of win cons. And also, I think people don't know that much how to play against the Lulu Jinx. So I think now it's fine deck, but I would say it's still worse than Draven Jinx.
And how do you usually pilot this deck? Because as you said, we haven't seen much of this deck. I think Stolen Conch was playing it a season ago and a few seasons ago on NA, and now we have seen Shogo Pass, but it's not many people. So how do you want to actually play this deck?
So you either can curve with Lulu and maybe surprise with discarding the chompers. So we have a 4/4 challenger on turn 3 with Lulu, which is amazing. Or you can go for a really fast level up because of the Jinx and triple ramages, and try to win that way. And of course, you have a backup mechanism of the augmented.
And we see a new card, we see Boom Baboon. How useful would you say this card is in the deck?
I think it's really useful because you've got the triple get excited, triple augmented, and triple ramage, so you have a lot of discarding tools. So having a 2-drop that is a body and provides you something to discard, it's really good.
And do you ever feel in the need of better stabilizers or better late cards? Because our curve abruptly ends at 2. We have Experimenter and that's it, but until then we just have 1 and 2 drops. Do you feel the need for better bodies or for better cards?
I don't think I feel the need, since you have the triple ramages to cycle your deck, and most of the time you're just swarming your board and you're winning before you need the backup mechanism. So I think the augmented is just enough.
Alright. And now that we've been talking about the decks, what did you actually want to face with this lineup? What did you expect people to bring so you could counter them?
So I expected I expected thralls and slow versions of Lurk, and I think both of these decks are bad against aggro. And also things like Overwhelm or the new deck, the Z Severe, or even the Zillion Echo, also bad against aggro. So yeah, I was really confident with a double aggro into those decks.
And in the final, actually the double final games, Czech player versus Czech player, Tomas versus BaJAtak. How did you feel when you find out you're going to play against him?
I mean, I was happy that it's him. I wasn't happy when I saw his lineup because it wasn't really good for me. But I was definitely happy to see it was him.
And why do you say his lineup was not good for you?
Because he was playing Draven S, which counters both of my decks, especially the Lulu Jinx. And he was playing the fast version of Lurk. When he ends on the pike, on the curve, he's not playing the big monsters. So he was pretty much favored with both decks into me.
And since he was favored into you, how did you manage to win 2 rounds against him? The round that pushed you to the rematch and the final round. How?
Well, I think the key to win was the overswarm and over aggro the Lurk. And I think I also had a one win against the Draven Ezreal, which was, I think, just lucky because the matchup is really bad. But yeah, the Lurk matchup was winnable because when the Lurk doesn't curve, or even the Lurk can run out of cards because it's the pretty fast version. So unless you find the pike or level up the Rek'Sai, you can run out of tools and lose even in the good matchup.
Yeah, and since you won the favorable matchups back to back, did you get any insight on how to play those unfavorable matchups? Did you get something new out of it?
I think all those matchups, I'm faced them in the ladder, so I don't think it was anything super new to me.
Definitely. And we were talking before the interview, how do we expect these decks to perform in the next meta? The next meta being 4 days before the expansion is released. But I think I should ask you something else. Do you expect these 2 decks, Pirate Aggro and Lulu Jinx, to be around when the new expansion is going to release?
I think so, but only because it's aggro, and aggro is always good in the early days of expansion because people are trying new stuff and aggro punishes that a lot. So I think it will be quite fine at the beginning, but I have no idea how it will be in like 2 or 3 weeks.
If you had to pick one of the two decks that you would like to survive, which one would it be?
I guess Pirates, because it's just easier to play them.
Come on, give people that love to play combo aggro a chance.
I mean, sure, but I always like when the decks are easy, so I cannot make that many mistakes and can rope my turns and make sure that every play I do is right.
Yeah, I mean, easy to play, but sometimes hard to master. That's a little bit the story of the aggro. I think the guys asked you on the stream as well if you practiced actually with anyone. Did you actually practice, or was it just pure ladder experience?
Just pure ladder, because yeah, I wanted to get a master before the fight night, so I was just playing ladder, didn't scrim.
Did you want to get a master for a better seeding, or just to get a master?
Just to get a master, so I have it.
Alright. Now the interview is kind of over, and you know our tradition. If you have any thought towards the public that is watching us, which one would that be?
Well, I guess again, thank you for everyone rooting for me in this tournament, and I hope I will be here even more.
We certainly hope that you're going to be here. You started with the 2-win streak. The third one is the charm. Enough of you, but let's see what BaJAtak is going to say about his take on this fight night and his take on your matches. Hello guys, I told you this interview has two parts. We've interviewed Tomas, the winner, so we're going to go to the runner-up and the other Czech player. I wanted to do this special interview with both Czech players, so today we are joined by BaJAtak. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure because you have been a player that has been lurking around, pun intended, for a lot of time now. You have been making part of, I think, both the European Masters teams in the Czech Republic. You are part, I have seen you in some internal tournaments as well and in the big tournaments, so I'm glad we finally get you as a guest. So, because you are kind of a hidden gem, could you tell us a bit more about your background, like who you are when you are not playing LOR?
Well, I played like League for 8 years. I was kind of like, I wasn't like the best player, but I was like, master, something like this in like East, and I coached something in League, also. And also I played like 5 years back, something like that. I played like Hearthstone, and I wasn't like good. I hit some master legend, and yeah, that's about me. I think like from other games.
Did you try going for the competitive scene in Hearthstone, compete in any tournament, or did you just play purely on ladder?
Well, I was kinda young, so I didn't.
Oh, unfortunate, but hey, you are playing in LOR and you are tearing the tournaments apart, so it's not that bad. So, how did you come to play LOR from that diverse background of playing League, playing Hearthstone, etc.?
Well, like it's like combination of Hearthstone and League, so it was like perfect choice for me.
Yeah, nice, but this interview is special, as I said, because in the last fight night we had a final between you and Tomas. Both of you Czech players, both of you players of high caliber. So how did you feel when you learned that you're going to face Tomas in the final?
Yeah, I was happy, Tomas is a great player. I know him from, it was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed the game, so let's not talk anymore about anything else and let's move towards the decks, because I think Tomas said that you had a lineup that in theory should counter his, or at least it should give him a harder time to win. First and foremost, we're seeing Lurk, so it has been a lot of debate. How do you want to build the Lurk? How do you want to play it? So how did you build Lurk yourself and why did you bring it?
Well, I brought this. Like, this is like the more coin flipping one, because of course, like you have like a lot of predicts, but predict doesn't like proc. So if you like attacking without predict, it's like 60% to hit it. So this is like the more conflicted, but like this version of Lurk has like ability to flip Rek'Sai 10 for 5 consistently,
And since it is more coin flippy, why did you decide to bring it in a tournament in which you would like some kind of consistency after all?
Well, I had like awesome result at the ladder, back then. But yeah, I overall changed to the like 0-1 version now because I think like it's the better. But yeah, this is also like a good build, I think.
Right, since you also said it's coin flippy, were you surprised when you made it into the finals? Since you said it's coin flippy, so did you expect to low roll at some point?
Well, I did, but yeah, it's like double elimination tournament, so I was like, okay, it happens, And as I said, I had like 12-1 on ladder before it, so I was like kinda confident with it.
Mm-hmm. You said this is the J1 version, so why did you settle on this particular version?
This isn't the J1. This is like Alan's, but the
Mhm.
J1 I do play now, And I like this more back then, but yeah, I changed to the standard, like more late game now.
And what made you go for that change?
Well, I climbed one day 200 LP, and the day after I climbed down 200 LP. So I was like, well, maybe it's not the best.
Yeah, maybe it is not the best. But Lurk is an archetype that people are still trying to build. There's a lot of ways to play it. As you said, you can play more for the late game or combo. You can play more aggressive to flip Rek'Sai. People are still trying to figure it out. So we'll let it be for now and move forward to the next deck, which is Draven Ezreal. This deck is old. It has been seen before. So why decide bringing it to Fight Night?
Well, I kind of expected people to bring a lot of work. That was why I like pick up the Mooncore Flipper because it's good in mirror. Because you consistently drawing champions, and champions are, especially Pike, are so good in mirror, And I expected people to bring Lurk, but yeah, they didn't. And also, as Devon, I think like is matchup table just good, Also, like into throws, it's good. It's good, like overall,
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the text and about the new cards because I see there a sneaky time winder. What was that good for, or what is it doing for you?
Well, it was especially how it like worked versus the Tomas in the finals versus the Lulu Jinx. It's so good, and I expected a lot, to be honest. And also it's good like into MFGP. So yeah, I like it. It's like fourth static shock, but just cheaper.
Alright, I understand. How about the time trick? Why is it there?
It's just like consistently. Also, I do like if you bank turn 1 and turn 2, you can like play it, find beam, and play Draven or something like this. It's like a neat play, I think.
Yeah, you just find the card that you need and you draw it. I think it's a good card that is going to have even more potential when we see more cards being revealed, because you are going to hit your power spikes more consistently. I do see here just one Thorn of the Rose. What's the use for it? Is it just another Tri-Beam proc? Do you have it for discard fodder so you can discard the Guile? What is it doing here?
It's anti-Lurk also, because you get the stun for Rek'Sai. Also, it's like 5-1 and he can like do something, so you can just kill some big units. So yeah. I like it a lot in this deck, to be honest.
I understand. And how about Boom Baboon? How are you feeling about the card and why did you try to put it in the deck?
I think it's like way better than a House Spider, in my opinion, because the 1-1 Spider doesn't do anything now. And just the ability of like playing it, then play sub next round, so you can like cycle. Just keeping it in hand, and if you need, you can have like burst blocker, you know, with X onto the O2, you know, and you just can block what you want.
Yeah, while the discard fodder is valuable, don't you think it's a little bit weak because it has just 1 HP, 1 make it rain, and it's enough to deal with it?
Yeah, it is definitely, but I think like if someone is going to play make it on this, I'm fine, you know. And of course, you know, when you play House Spider, you have also like 1/1 Spider hit, so it's like the same.
I
Almost.
understand. But we also see double Scorched Earth. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not think in this meta Scorched Earth sees much value. Trolls is not that present. So why do we run Scorched Earth over Noxian Guillotine, for example?
Well, I was kinda expecting to be on a Trolls in this tourney, so I brought it up. I think like not many people had it, so I was kinda like off, but yeah, I thought people will bring it.
And I also see that you're running 2 Thermo Beam, so people are not usually touching that slot of Thermo Beam. Why did you decide to go to 2 Thermo?
I think like 2 as usual, to be honest. I do like it because it can like break your hand too often, I think.
Alright. With that being said, you are getting faced against Tomas, so he said that he didn't have an easy time with you, and your lineup should technically counter his, but he managed to push through. Why do you think that happened? What happened in those games that made it to change the tide of the games?
Well, I think as I was saying, even though I didn't like you know, I had the Lurk, and I didn't like Lurk in the semifinals and everything, but in the finals I had like, I think like kind of sad games, to be honest.
And would you have done anything differently if you looked over your games, or if you think something that might have been done differently in those games?
Yeah, definitely. I think like I made some mistakes. I was usually like thinking about it after the game, and yeah, I mentioned it at the stream, definitely. But yeah, of course, this is something like space to improve.
Alright, and I asked Tomas this as well, but are you looking forward to maybe another final against him next week, because both of you are getting re-invited?
Yeah, like that's the plan, you know. We want just every time just final, just us two, you know.
Yeah, you're going to break a lot of slots if you're getting in the final every single week, but I don't think someone minds because you are both good players. But this is a question we traditionally ask people: if you prepared with someone for this game, if you screamed for this tournament with someone in particular.
For this I didn't. I just played the ladder because, you know, it was climb, you know, and yeah. But usually I like scream with Tomas. I'm so humble and everything. So yeah.
Nice. I think you already have that kind of group with Tomas, and I'm so humble. That's very well mended together. We are reaching the last part of the interview, and this is another traditional question we ask people, and that is, if you had one thing, only one thing to tell to the people, to the audience watching, which one would that be?
Well, I had no, but
No idea at all?
no, I don't know what to say to them.
Alright, I'm going to kind of caster bless you, and I'm going to say that you're going to win the next fight night, so be prepared next time with something. Alright. So with that, guys, you had both perspective. You heard Tomas a little bit while ago, now you heard the perspective from BaJAtak, and hopefully for them we're going to see another Czech duel in the next Fight Night EU final. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.